Hello guys, welcome again. So new live stream. So let's talk about Bitcoin and well, what happened right after we saw what is going to happen actually, or what I'm expecting is going to happen after this crash. So officially, technically speaking, right now Bitcoin is in downtrend in 1 day chart, right? So what I'm looking for in 1 day chart, right? I mean, this week and next week, I'm hopefully, if Bitcoin is not breaking, if we don't see Bitcoin below 100k, is sideways here, and eventually we'll see a bounce here, testing the mid 55. But of course, this is gonna be a downtrend, looking for continuation to the downside. Okay, this is the technical analysis in 1 day chart. Right now, today, Bitcoin is forming a bullish divergence in momentum, only in momentum. Okay, not volume. Volume is terrible. So what happened? What is going to happen is very simple. Every time when we see a bullish variance in 1 day chart here, uh, when we see a bullish variance in momentum, I am not expecting more downside. I'm expecting at least just sideways here and maybe a bounce. But this bounce should be weak, very weak actually, because we don't have the support of volume. So right now, I was actually yesterday, as I said before in my live stream, I was in long position exactly at $90,000 with $90,000, 300, around there. Around here, I was in long position, and my target, of course, was the ME55, and I closed my position exactly here. Yeah, very nice actually trade. It was 4% trade. Actually, very nice. Right now, the market is very generous. And as you can see here, in 4-hour chart, we have, formally speaking, we have an ADX negative, a buy signal here. Volume is not bad. So I am not looking for shorts. I am not shorting the market right now. Actually, I am looking for the next buy opportunity in 1-hour chart. So usually when we see these kind of things, I am expecting to see sideways here, or maybe a little bit downside. As long as it's not making a new low, I'm planning to open another long position in the next 1-hour chart, because this 1-hour chart could be the trigger for actually the bounce I am looking for in 4-hour chart, where the target should be the mid 55 here, around maybe 105, $106,000, something like this, right? Something like this, but it's gonna take some days, maybe all the weekend. So that's why I'm taking my time. I think right now in Japan is Tuesday, so I mean, we have 2 or 3 days of price action, but right now the weekend is coming, so that's why I am expecting your sideways here, sideways in 1 day chart, and potentially we will see more action next week. Now, this week is very important because something we don't want to see is Bitcoin closing below 100k. It's very simple. We don't want to see Bitcoin closing below 100k. If we see Bitcoin closing below 100k, game over. Game over, because the next target should be around $85,000, and officially Bitcoin will be in downtrend in weekly chart. That is something we don't want it, right? We don't want that. Now, the biggest warning right now I have is very simple. Is the settle line here. OBB is breaking the settle line, as you can see here. So we have to pay attention here, because we want to see we don't want to see a close like this. We want to see Bitcoin actually when the weekly close is coming. We want to see something like this, right? So something like this. So we want to see something like this. If we see this close, right, like OBB is breaking very strong without any bounce, nothing. The settle line here in this indicator, what is gonna happen, or historically speaking, is the bear market started. Yeah. So as I said before yesterday, if we see the charts here, every time when Bitcoin broke the ME55 here, so the settle line here in OBB, the market crashed around 60%. So that's why if we are bullish, we don't want to see that. We want to see actually Bitcoin defending 100k and also the volume. Now, even if Bitcoin is defending 100k, but the volume is actually breaking the settle line, get ready, because Bitcoin will break down. So what I'm going to do right now, well, now the best trade is just watching Netflix. That's all. Yeah, I am very happy with this week. This week was awesome. very, I love volatility. Actually, very nice. I'm very happy with the results this week. I hope you too. So right now, as I said before, I am waiting for the next 1 hour chart by signal here. Why I am trading 1 hour chart? Because volatility is very high. So this is the time to make some profits. So I am looking for this sideways here and continuation, looking for 104, $105,000, looking for this area to be tested potentially next week. Also, potentially I will keep my long position open only if I see confirmation of the bullish divergence here in 1 day chart. But for now, it's just my imagination because the ADX is actually positive here. This could be easily a fake out. Okay. Now let me show you something else. I'm gonna show you a bi-weekly chart. Bi-weekly chart is actually very interesting here. We have a better divergence in bi-weekly chart. ADX negative. Officially, we have the sell signal right now. The close is actually in 4 days, so next week. But as you can see here, we have this rejection from volume as well. Closing 100k, I think that is the key here. If we want to keep the trend actually healthy, Bitcoin cannot break 100k. It actually is very obvious here, right? We have support around this area, right? We cannot see Bitcoin closing below here because, as I said before, the target should be around $83,000, and well, officially Bitcoin will enter in a bear market. Now let's talk about the monthly. Monthly is not looking great. I have to be honest with you. This is not looking good. This is looking actually Bitcoin is getting ready for a major reversal. Major reversal. The trigger is gonna be the ADX. In the moment when you see ADX negative here, potentially in November, game over. Game over, and you will see Bitcoin crashing all the way down to around $50,000 first target. Second target is gonna be 44 in 1 year. Okay, so as I said before, if we want to keep like bullish momentum in the markets, we have to see Bitcoin defending, and not just only defending. We have to see Bitcoin bouncing very strong, very powerful, same as in April, same as August 2024. As you can see here, only a few times per year we have this opportunity to buy in weekly chart, right? So the last time was here around 200 days, and from here another 250 days. So more than around 6 months we have to wait, or even more. So this is actually, technically speaking, is a good momentum to start. A good moment, sorry, to start buying Bitcoin. But if we follow just price action, yes, of course, this is a buy opportunity here. Yes, but as I said before, higher time frames, monthly and weekly chart, they are not looking actually good. Okay, so that's why we have to be careful. At least in my case, I am very careful with my positions. Risk management is the most important thing. With UC dominance, let me show you here. UC dominance actually is very interesting here. Let me show you here. Yes, in 1 day chart, we have something very interesting. We have a better divergence forming as well. So also we have the better divergence here in OBB as well here. So there is a very high chance next week we will see a bounce. We could see a bounce when we could see Bitcoin at $107,000, $106,000 around there. So that's why I am not shorting the market. No shorts. Yeah, no short. I know social media is calling for the crash, the stock market. No. Remember, they're just YouTubers, right? Technically, I am me too, right? I am a YouTuber, maybe. But well, the point here is, like, technically speaking, yeah, we could see a pullback here, but just a pullback, because weekly chart actually is very strong. It is a breakout. The move we saw in weekly chart actually is just the beginning. Technically speaking, usually when you see weekly breakouts, is something like this. So this time there is a very high chance Bitcoin could break 100k. Okay, if we see 100k broken, game over, and you will see Bitcoin at 50k in 1 year. As investor, of course, I'm very happy. I want to see Bitcoin crashing so hard because I want to buy altcoins actually very cheap, right? Okay, now let's continue with the monthly. The monthly here, as I said before, this is a major breakout in volume, as you can see here. This is like this. And technically speaking, if we follow just this chart, we are in the first phase of bear market. Yeah, this is actually the major warning USDT actually is telling us. Market makers, institutions, they are actually selling crypto, they are selling Bitcoin. Of course, 2026 is gonna be terrible for the markets. Okay, now let's continue with some altcoins. First of all, Zcash. Zcash, as you can see here, is actually I got to stop it. I opened a short position here. I got to stop it. It's fine. It was just a very small amount, but as you can see, this thing is actually keep pumping, keep pumping. Eventually, I will short this again, but not for now. There is no evidence right now. Like this thing is gonna crash, especially Bitcoin actually crashed yesterday. But even with that, Zcash didn't crash. That actually is a good sign, but of course there is no way. I mean, I cannot find any reasons to buy this thing right now, especially because I know Zcash is the first generation of crypto, right? And well, it was just garbage for many years, right? I have no idea right now. Okay, so now let's continue with Ethereum. Ethereum, as you can see here, Ethereum hit exactly $3,000. One of my targets actually hit very well. Weekly chart, let me see. Weekly chart, as you can see here, and now Ethereum must hold this area. But if Bitcoin breaks 100k, you will see Ethereum at 2,400, even 2,000. Okay, so be careful with your altcoins because, as I said before, this is not over. I think it's just the beginning. Bitcoin must hold 100k. Yeah, that is a must if we want to see the momentum. The bullish momentum is still. We want to see a bull market, still a bull market, 150k potentially, yes, if Bitcoin holds 100k for a while. I think it's maybe a couple months, yeah. And as you can see here, Solana is not looking great, actually, I have to say it. In the monthly, let me see the monthly. Yeah, ADX negative here. Well, I think it depends on Bitcoin here, because technically speaking, with Solana, it's about to cross the seller line here and it's not crashing. In the monthly, it's not that bad, but I think it depends on Bitcoin. And also XRP, ADX negative here, sells in the monthly, looking for a major crash in next year. We have here a better variance in for BNB, so be careful here because potentially this could be the top 1,200, 300, 1,200, yeah, around there. Around this is the top potentially. Looking for 600 in the long term. The only thing we need is just the ADX negative here. Let me see more. The Bitcoin dominance, very bullish. I am bullish here. I was right about this. Remember, I said this thing is gonna be in between 56% and 60%, 62, and it's gonna be in sideways. And actually, right now, it's happening. It's in sideways here. Let's see. Actually, I think about Bitcoin. I think that's all. I don't have more anything to say. I already said before. My plan is just very simple. I am trading 1 hour chart because volatility is very, very high. So I'm waiting for the next buy signal here in 1 hour chart. And as long as it's not making a new low, I will open another long position in 1 hour chart, looking for continuation, right? Where my target should be around $105,000, looking for the MA55 here in 4 hour chart. And if I am lucky enough, potentially we could see a bullish divergence here and maybe another test to maybe 110. If that happens, well, I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think so. I think Bitcoin is gonna continue between 105, 110, $100,000, but 111, 112, I don't think so. The reason I'm saying this is because we don't have volume. Even in 12-hour chart, we don't have volume. Let me show you here. We don't have volume even in 12-hour chart. We have a bullish divergence in momentum, but also volume. And volume is extremely, extremely important if we want to see a strong move. So the problem here is like we don't have the volume here. So right now, I think the only thing I'm gonna do is just a 1 hour chart and I will be defensive. That's all. Okay, so Let me check the comments. Anton, Leo, is there a sign? Oh yeah, I'm gonna check the Japanese yen later. Yeah, sure. Solana is behaving same as Bitcoin. Well, actually, I said that many years ago. Actually, altcoins in general, right? There are some exceptions. Like sometimes it's this time it's Zcash, right, or BNB. But 90% of the time they follow Bitcoin, but the leverage is by 3 or 5. So that's why I don't trade altcoins in futures, because in futures you have 3x or 5x or 10x leverage plus the volatility of the altcoin. You are gonna get wrecked very very fast. So that's why I don't do that. The only market I trade in futures in crypto is just for Bitcoin. That's all. It's only Bitcoin because the volatility is high, but not that super high. My risk, of course, my risk is almost always high, but I'm trying to be careful with risk management. So when you have the assets with a very high volatility, it's very complicated applying risk management. And that's why, as a part of my risk management, I don't trade altcoins in futures. I know many people like to do that, but in my case, no. I am more conservative, more defensive in that topic. Okay, I'm gonna continue with more. Let me show you more. I'm gonna continue with the stock market. The stock market, I think I did it yesterday. Let's talk about currencies. You said like you think like the yen is gonna be stronger. Um, I respectfully disagree, my friend. Why? Because we have a monthly buy signal here. We have a monthly buy signal here, and as long as we have this monthly buy signal, I am bullish. I am bullish here, looking for a breakout, right? Looking for a breakout. And if we see this breakout, you will see 200. 200. Very sad, but well, it depends on the time frame, right? Maybe you're talking about short term. Maybe in short term, yeah, in short term, no, actually, no, no. Now, even in one day chart, this thing is showing a better divergence here, but the volume is very healthy. So even if we see a pullback, it's gonna be a buy to continuation to the upside. Yeah. So the yen is gonna collapse, basically, technically speaking. Now let's see here, 3-month chart. This we have a better divergence here, as you can see here in momentum, but the problem is the volume is very healthy. So there's a very high chance this signal is fake. This signal is fake. And as you can see here, the only thing we have to see in 3-month chart is, let me see the close, by January. By January in this year, you see the yen closing about 160, game over. Game over. Let me see. Oh, I'm curious about. Oh my god, this is looking. Oh, this is very interesting. It's the first time I see 12-month chart 1 year, and as you can see here, there is a bullish variance here, right? Since the 95 forming to 12, as you can see here, right? With a bullish variance by signal here in 2014, and since then this thing is pumping and is very strong, very strong. Yeah, this actually this chart is very easy to read, very easy. There is no resistance here, right? So the momentum is still very strong. Looking for in the following years, looking for this area. Yep. Hopefully I will not be here in this country when that happens, because if that happens 200 250, that means the yen is gonna collapse. It's not gonna be a developed country, it's gonna be a developing country. Yeah, that's the problem when you have more dogs than people in this country, right? Too many old people. You have no idea. Same with Korea. You travel to Korea and you will see, you have no idea how many old people. Of course, if you travel to Seoul or Tokyo, you will see many young people, but because all the young people are living in the cities. But if you travel in the countryside, you will see most of the time old people. The average age in Japan is 48. Yeah, imagine. Yep. And honestly, I think that is not gonna change. I think I kind of more realistic. Japanese people are living in their own bubble. They don't want to wake up for some reasons. I don't know. I think the quality of life is too good here. Like they even don't care. Yeah. Um, But it's another topic. Okay, now let's continue. Let's continue with the stock market. I think the stock market is the same as yesterday. Well, yesterday we saw this like it was red, right? But for example, Adobe is doing exactly the same thing. Is doing the same thing. Wow, this is interesting. We have a sell signal here in Adobe in. Okay, well, I don't care about it in years. I care about the monthly. Monthly is about to fire a buy signal very soon. Without volume, but it's gonna be at least enough to maybe see a pump to 400. Let's see weekly chart. Weekly chart. We have a Bollinger Brains still present. Let's see EMD. Same thing as yesterday. I don't see any difference. Yeah, I don't see any difference here. Okay. Okay, so let's see crypto. I think that's all, guys. Oh, sure. Let me see. It's a currency, I think, right? Oh. Here's this one. Okay, this one. Let's see the monthly. First of all, in the monthly, okay? Okay, I think this chart is wrong. The volume is wrong here. But we have bullets are bringing in the monthly. As you can see here, right? You can see here we have a lower low here and lower high here. So we have a bullets are bringing forming here in the monthly. So this is like this, okay? Of course, it's gonna take me 1 year in the monthly, looking for $4, I think, around here yeah, around 4. Now it's just the strongest support. I am not expecting a breakdown. Actually, I'm looking for a bounce. Let's see the weekly chart. Technically speaking, the time is over. So right now, what I'm expecting is just sideways here, maybe potentially in the following months, and eventually the next buy signal here, continuation to 4. In one the chart, just sideways. That's all. Let me see in 3 months chart if I can find something interesting. It's very interesting. This is testing support with low volatility. You will see a buy signal here. So in the long term, I'm looking for even 4 or 5 in the long term. I'm talking about maybe a couple years, right? 2 or 3 years. Okay, guys. I think that's all for today because this dive stream was just very short because it was a continuation of the technical analysis of yesterday, right? So as I said before, 1 hour chart, I am looking for the next buy opportunity, right? Usually in this kind of bounces here, the price is just here around the MA55, right? And in the next buy signal here, right, I'm looking for a potential buy. Or if we see a drop here, I will be very lucky, right? 100K, 99K for me is actually a good buy opportunity around here. But anyway, don't short. The time to short is over. Honestly, for me, it's time to start looking for longs, right? Where in 4 hour chart, my target is gonna be around 100 today, 107, 106. Maybe next week is gonna be around 105, 106. Okay, but the most important thing is Bitcoin in the weekly chart cannot close below 100K. If we see this close, game over, and you will see Bitcoin crashing to $85,000. Okay, so the trend is your friend until the end. And right now, Bitcoin is an uptrend, right? It's an uptrend, right? Super weak. This area is super weak. I mean, Bitcoin is screaming to the world, hey, I'm about to crash. Yeah. But we have to respect the trend, and the trend is to the upside. So that's why here is a buy, here is a buy. Technically speaking, here's a buy, but here, specifically here, I want to be careful. Yeah, of course, it's a buy, but with good risk management. Okay, guys, thank you for watching, and see you tomorrow.